Photosynthesis is the process by which a plant uses the energy from the sun and turns it into chemical energy, namely ATP and electrons. And later it takes that energy in the form of ATP and electrons and produces sugar, glucose. And then the plant will save the glucose in the form of starch. At least a lot of plants will. So the ingredients that the plant uses to make sugar is carbon dioxide and water. So if you think about a carbohydrate, it's water with carbon, CH2O. That's carbohydrates in the most basic form. You might see it in class as C6H12O6. It's really CH2O. So imagine water with a carbon attached to it. So the plant uses carbon dioxide and water. So H2O is the water part, and then C comes from carbon dioxide, and you're left with O2, which is oxygen. So the plant takes carbon dioxide and water, makes sugar. The byproduct is oxygen, which is released into the air. So in this lab, you're going to use a plant called Alodia, or it's called a nacris. You get them in pet stores. They're for aquariums. So most aquariums have these plants. And when you shine light on them underwater, they produce like little bubbles of oxygen, right? So when you do it, when you're actually doing the lab, the more light you shine on it, the more little bubbles of oxygen are eventually going to come out. And the oxygen means that the plant is increasing its the amount of photosynthesis that it's going through. So it's increasing the efficacy of its sugar production. And so the more light you have, the more photosynthesis and the more oxygen bubbles will be let off the plant. The more carbon dioxide, same thing. If you have more carbon dioxide, you can also have more photosynthesis. And then the same is true for temperature. When the temperature goes up, the efficacy of photosynthesis goes up. Of course, all these things only happen to a certain point. I mean, if you keep making it, if you keep increasing the temperature, photosynthesis is not going to correspondingly increase. Right? It's only to a certain point. Same thing with the amount of carbon dioxide available, and same thing with light. Right? But if you do decrease the light, or if you do decrease the carbon dioxide, you're going to find that the plant will make less oxygen bubbles. So in this lab, you're taking this Alodia, and instead of using carbon dioxide, they're having you use sodium bicarbonate. So that's essentially baking soda, and that's going to be a source of carbon. And you're just going to see how much oxygen comes out when you manipulate these variables and just record your data. Not too difficult of a lab. So good luck.